Oh, hello and welcome to Sigi Air. Today we're going to take a flight from Malaga, Spain to Ibiza. Just about an hour flight, and we're going to do that in the 737-800 Pdmg aircraft, which has become one of my favorite aircrafts of the flight simulation, and it's a paid wear, but it's fantastic. And the CRJ 700 was my favorite plane to fly because it uh, challenged you during the flight. But this 737 is equally challenging, and it's a really nice aircraft to fly. We're not going to be doing a complete setup from startup to takeoff and climb and cruise. We're just going to take off here. However, we are going to be programmed the FMC. So you might pick up some good tips on program the FMC, and what I want to really show here is how the aircraft performs in VNAV, and we're going to try to do that. Make sure that we load the flight plan from SimBrief with all the wind levels and all of that. So we'll try to show you that. And just to celebrate my channel Sigi Air's 250 plus subscribers, today we're going to raffle a $20 gift card from Microsoft. If you are a subscriber and you leave me a comment on what did I do wrong in this flight. So just watch the flight, tell me what I did wrong, and you could be a winner of the $20 Microsoft gift card. So stay tuned, watch the whole flight, and hopefully you will win, and leave me a comment. All right, so let's go ahead and start on the FMC. So I program a shortcut here is Control 3. So that will bring us right into the FMC. So the first thing we're gonna do is just gonna do flight simulator actions here, and we're gonna set our fuel on the aircraft. Now you can program your fuel, and you can, if you look at your flight plan, you can just go ahead and program your fuel based on your flight plan. However, for this particular flight, we're just going to set our fuel to 1/3, and you can just see those totals change over here, and all the totals on the zero fuel weight and all that calculated. So let's do that. Then we're going to program our payload, and today we do have a full flight. You can set this up however you want. You can set it at empty, you can set it at random, or you can just go ahead and change the values yourself. So for example, sometimes this thing gets me. For example, we can just set the cabin first class to just, we had to kick someone out, and we're just going to change that to 11 passengers here. So the first class passenger got unruly here, so we had to get him out. Anyway, so you can do that and set any values that you want here. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to go back to the main menu and FMC, and we're gonna go to pause init, and we're gonna set up our departure airport, or our reference airport, which is today it's gonna be EMG. Set that up. And next, we don't need a gate, we're at the runway, that's fine. We're gonna set our route, and here we're going to request our flight plan from SeamBrief. Now, if you don't have a SeamBrief account, I highly recommend that if you're flying airliners and you're doing this type of flight where you want to fly from one city to another, and you want to kind of follow the procedures and all that. It's a great tool, and in the Pmdg you can just go ahead and request that flight plan rather than having to enter all those values yourself here. So I'm going to do that, request flight plan. Oh, before I do that, sorry, I just got ahead of myself. I've got to let him know where I'm coming from. LEMG, and our destination is going to be LEIB, which is Ibiza, and our flight number will be Sigi Air, and we'll just say 1123 and put it in. And then now we can request, once we have that information in here, we can request our flight plan. The flight plan, it's already downloaded using the SeamBrief downloader, so I just have to select the particular flight and then request the flight plan. That once that's downloaded and set in the FMC, you get a message here. This route uplink is ready, and then you load that into the FMC. So it's a couple of steps there, so you need to make sure that you do follow those steps there, and you wait until the message says it's out, uploaded and ready, and then you want to activate that plan and execute. So if we go up over here to our display, you'll see that we have a route going out, and our first waypoint is Rolas. We'll check that out here on the legs page. So let's go back to our FMC. And then the next thing we're going to do is going to be pref initialization. And over here, we're also going to request that from our flight plan. Okay, so do that request. It's highlighted. That means the request is active. And then we have the preference initialization uplink ready. We want to load that. Once it's loaded, we have all that information, and we can execute. All right, so the next thing we're going to go is to our N1 limits, and we're going to select 24 derate. We could have done this. I mean, you can set this up as ever you want. We can keep it as 26, or we can do 24. We're just gonna keep it at 26 at this point. Next thing, we're just gonna go to our takeoff page. Now, before we do our takeoff page, let's do our departure. And we're going to be departing from runway 13. Malaga 13, and we're gonna be using the Rola 1H departure. So let me show you that in the flight plan. So here we are in the flight plan. So we have the runway 13 and into the Rolas 1 departure. All right. All right, let's set that up again here. Select that, and we can execute. And then let's go to our arrivals page into Ibiza. And we are going to be using runway 24X. And we're going to be doing the Ruxin's 3N arrival. And we're going to execute that. All right, so from here we go, let's go to legs page, make sure everything looks good in here and we don't have any discontinuity in the flight plan. Usually you always get one. So over here you see that we have a 220 speed on this particular point. That means the plane doesn't think that it's gonna make that particular speed at that point. We can help the plane do that, but you know, deploying some of the spoilers. But we can actually change that here, or we can deal with it during our flight. So let's deal with it during our flight and continue to check in here. We do have a discontinuity here. We're just gonna clear that out fairly quickly over here. Execute that. And other than that, we're looking good on this flight plan. All right. Let's then go to our route data. And we're gonna be requesting the winds from the flight plan. Again, this is using SimBrief. It's really useful to have this information and be able to do that from the FMC here. All right, so we have our winds and we're gonna load that. And execute. All right. Let's go back to our legs page, having all that information. And the last thing we want to do, then what we need to do is go to our takeoff page here and set the flaps to 5. And then we'll get the QRH for our takeoff. We're just gonna click here to add the CG percentage, and our trim, it's gonna be 4.7. So we just quickly, before we do anything else, so we don't forget, we'll just go to our trim and set it to 4.7. So let's get close enough so we can see this. And actually we are just set up for 4.7. You have to eyeball it over here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just move it a little bit more, but the other way. All right, 4, and just maybe a just. All right, that should do it. 4.7. Then we're gonna set our V1, VR, and V2 speeds, and just to make sure. We're gonna set our max speeds over here to VR plus 5. Okay. We have VR plus 5. Did I get that right? It's 148. V2 plus 5, I'm sorry, 157. All right. Okay, so we do have a warning here, and that's because I'm just gonna show you. We set our fuel to 1/3, and our wing tanks get filled first, and in this particular aircraft, and most aircraft, your wind tanks will just get the fuel first, and then once that is topped off, then you go to your center tank. Your center tank over here today, we have zero fuel in here. So what happens is that we get a warning because we have low pressure in those tanks. So what we need to do is just to shut those off. That the message is clear. We'll just one thing we just want to make sure is that our flaps are set correctly to 5. Yep. Good. And we should be all set here. We'll do our checklist. Flaps, we have green, and stabilizer trim we have in units, which we did. Our flaps are green. And over here. All right, so we are good to go on our flight here. The last thing we're gonna do actually is just to make sure what we're getting from ATC is 5,000, and we're gonna set it to 10,000. The airplane will follow our VNAV, and so there's gonna be a little discrepancies here between our what ATC is gonna request and then what we set up for VNAV and the flight plan. So, well, we're just gonna have to deal with that. All right. And you know me, I'm not a fan of ATC, so I don't care what they think or what they say. No, just kidding. Anyway, over here on the autopilot panel here, we're just gonna set our flight directors both on and make sure that the flight director for the pilot is MA here, which is the main flight director. And we're going to set our auto brakes later on. We're all set over here. Okay, so with that done, we're going to increase the power until we're stabilized at 40%. And then we're going to hit our TOGA button here. And we are at TOGA. Heading up, check. Rotate. Set to 15 degrees.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 1123, contact Malaga, departure 1118.455. Good day.
All right, we can set our autopilot now.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 1123, Malaga, departure altimeter 29.9, to continue as planned.
And come on.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 1123, reset transponder. Squawk tree 276.
3276. I forgot to do that anyway. So if you say forgot to set the transponder, that could be technically right. But since I picked it up, we're gonna exclude that. So you gotta tell me something that I did wrong that I didn't catch. So then let's say we do that to make sure that. All right. So we're gonna do our flaps. And ATC asked us to do 11,000. Set to 11,000 here. Fine. And our flaps should be set to 0. All right. Doing quite well over here so far. So the 800, nice aircraft. It's actually one of the aircrafts that I've flown the most in my travels. So not in the sim, but in just a regular, real life travel. So 737-800. So far so good. Let's do our checklist here after takeoff. So our engine bleeds. That looks good. Then we go to our packs. What's trouble here with it?
Boeing 22 contact Malaga, approach on 123.855. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 climb and maintain flight level 250.
Packs to auto. And the gear up and off. And flaps off and no lights.
123.855 for Boeing 22.
Okay. We're off on the landing gear.
Ryanair 25908 is passing
And
3,900 feet.
we
descending
want
3,000 feet.
to go to flight level
Ryanair
250.
25908 Madrid, center altimeter 29.902. Continue as planned.
To make sure our VNAV is set.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 please expedite your climb. Flight level
Yeah,
250.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Don't get so excited. Like I said, this is a flight that I've done many times on the CRJ. I like it because this part of Spain is it's really beautiful. I've been there several times in real life. One of my favorite cities is Granada, which we're gonna go by in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Um, just at the foothills of the Sierra Nevada there, and it's just a beautiful area, beautiful city, very enjoyable. If you get a chance to visit, do visit this southern part of Spain. People are very nice. The food is fantastic, so I highly recommend it. You can take a flight from, if you're in the U.S., you fly directly from New York or Boston and all that into Madrid, and then you can fly from Madrid to Malaga. From Malaga, you can either drive to Granada, Seville. All that area is just a beautiful area to visit. All right. So we look good over here. Just to make sure everything is set in terms of our autopilot. And everything looks good over here. Let's look at our legs page.
Ryanair 25908, contact Malaga approach on 123.855. Good day.
Alright, so we're here. Our next waypoint will be MGA 46, and we should be at 14,000.
123.855
Yeah.
for Ryanair
So
25908.
I don't know, it thinks that it might get there, or it's already get there, so it's already there. Yeah, so we're good. Highlighted in magenta at 14, so that means we went over that restriction, but that's okay. That's what the ATC want us to do. Okay. Alright, so we're here. This is the Sierra Nevada, and Granada is over here. Just a nice, beautiful area to visit. Either in a simulation or in real life. Real life is always better, but if you're unable, you know, the beauty of a simulation is that you can pretend to be there, and maybe you cook something from that area, some nice pulled pork. I would suggest pulled pork. I mean, at this point, that's what I had for last night, so it's a good, if you cook it, a recipe from that area, from this, go to the internet, search for Spanish pulled pork, and you should find something good. It's actually in Latin America they call it ropa vieja. So you search for ropa vieja, and either you do beef or you can do pork. So I had pork last night. Ropa vieja pork, fantastic. All right, so that's enough of that. So let's go back to our flight over here. Getting into Getting close to our 25,000 feet. All right, our next waypoint is Rolas. And I'm going to show you that on our Navigraph chart. Alright, so we here on Navigraph, and we got here to 25,000 already, so our next waypoint is Rolas. And we're going to, when we get to Ibiza, we're going to take the Russ X3N transition into runway 24.
Alpha 112 tree climb and maintain flight level 310.
Alright, they're asking us for 310. Go back here. So we should be at 310 over here when we hit roll S. Which is not going to be for a while. Here, so roll S. And VNAV doesn't want to follow. So what we need to do here is, because ATC asked us to do that, we're just going to go to vertical speed. And let's go up and follow ATC to 31,000. And we want to be able to do that.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level 310.
Yeah, getting there. So I'm going to set our vertical speed so it kind of matches this green curvy line, which is what the aircraft is telling you at this rate. It's going to do that 31,000, so we just want to be a little bit up. It's going to be a little bit behind that roller, so when we hit rollers we are at 31,000. I'm not sure why VNAV didn't want to do that, because if we go back to our legs page, it obviously had it at 31,000, so alright, but that's alright. So there are situations like that, we just follow what ATC wants. Although what I want to do is really show the vertical navigation, so we may be following ATC at this point, and later when we get close to our destination we may not follow ATC. One of the things that I have done in this flight before is that one time ATC screwed up, and when I got to the arrival, when I got to Ruxton's 3, and I was too high. So, but those are the things that we have to deal with when we deal with bad ATCs. So let's see. Just gonna look at the Sierra Nevada mountains there. Just beautiful. Sometimes even in the summer you can see that snow capped on that mountain from Granada, and it's just beautiful. If you go to in Granada, you go to the Alhambra, which is the Moorish castle there. It's one of the most beautiful places in Spain, and you can just from that castle high up on the little hill, you can look into the Sierra Nevada and snow-capped mountains there. And it's just warm, warm and nice weather down here. You can see the snow-capped mountains, and it's just very picturesque settings for it. So I highly recommend it. All right, we're getting to 31,000. That's requested by ATC.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree climb and maintain flight level tree 60.
So they want us to go to 360. Let's see what VNAV will do here. Sometimes you have to give it a little time, and VNAV is responding. So we'll let VNAV just take over here and slowly climb to 360. All right, we're back over here, and we are at 3,600, and we're just close to our top of climb, and everything looking pretty good so far. All right, we're looking good. We're getting close to Alicante. We have a nice day, beautiful clear skies with that moon in front of us. Just beautiful.
Ryanair tree 878 traffic is 2 o'clock 4 miles at flight level tree 60. Report them in sight. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree traffic is 3 o'clock 4 miles at flight level tree 60 going 737. Report them in sight.
Yeah, I got that traffic in
Ryanair
sight.
tree 878 copy in sight.
Good separation there. No issues with ATC on that separation. Alright, so we're close to Alicante, which is gonna be our top of descent. Let's see what ATC wants to do here. But we're past that, so I'm just going to, I'm sure they're not gonna like this. I'm gonna set this to 10,000. Hit the VNAP button. That VNAP is not set. We're not quite there yet. So alright, so we're there. So we're gonna hit VNAP and let's see what yeah, it's responding. So just want to point out, once I hit that top of descent, the Alicante waypoint, the plane VNAP was activated and I was able to hit that VNAP button. So sometimes if you're flying and you say, why is this not happening, it's all because you have to hit those waypoints and make sure you are at the waypoints that in your flight plan.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. You are 700 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level tree 60.
I'm telling you, if I follow their directions, I'm not gonna hit that Rus X3N transition at 10,000, and then we're gonna be too high. So I'm trusting the VNAP here rather than ATC, and again, I really don't trust ATC. So I'm as you can see, I'm using the default ATC. I'm not using FS Hot. So I'm gonna have a video on that next week about FS Hot and when I use it, why I use it, and some of the issues that I've been finding on FS Hot. So stay tuned for that next week. Next weekend I'm putting that out. So but for now, just go ahead and keep on watching and keep on finding things that I'm doing wrong. Alright, so we're looking good here on our VNAP. And again, we need to be at 10,000 over here, so hopefully we'll make that.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
I don't understand why they do this. So in a previous flight on the CRJ, they did the same thing to me, and I was at that arrival at 36,000, and I just didn't make it. It was too high, so that's an issue. If anyone has any thoughts about that, let me know too.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
Alright, are you you're getting tired of them. I am. Anyway, we can see Ibiza to our east over here on the front of the plane. And we are. I'm even thinking that we're not going to even make that 10,000 once we get to that waypoint. So let's see what the plane is saying. I think it's not going to make it. So, we can do a couple of things. Let's try to help them out.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
Let's do our checklist first. Descent checklist here. Pressurization, we're going to check on that. Make sure we have correct pressurization. That's fine. Recall is check. Auto brakes, we're going to do auto brakes 2. Okay.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please
London
expedite your climb.
data
Flight level
verify.
tree
We got our
60.
minimums. Our minimums are set. Touch briefing completed. We're gonna set our nav radio to 109.5. Which is our ILS. And alright, so I'm a little bit late here, so we're just gonna help them out. Just gonna have to do 15. I'm gonna have to do 2,000. 2,500. I'm not even thinking that that's gonna be enough.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
They still want us to do 360. Unbelievable. So in this case, our rate is high, so we're just gonna do some speed brakes here, just to make sure we keep a handle on that speed. A little bit late on that. The speed brakes on the 737 are not that great here. They don't slow you down that much, so. See, are we picking up speed here? So we want to get to that 10,000 quickly.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
Okay, they still want us to do 360. What the, what do you think? This is ridiculous. right.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
See those spoilers in there doing their job.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact. Palma approach on 1 tree 4.825. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29.9er 2 continue as planned.
Okay, we're getting to 10,000 here, and we should be slowing down to 220. That's going to be a challenge. We'll keep those speed brakes there for a little while longer.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level tree 60.
They still want us to 360. How are we going to, if we followed ATC, how are we going to make this landing? That's ridiculous.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact Barcelona Center on 119er decimal for 5.
So let's go back to VNAP now.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Barcelona Center altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned.
I was
Ryanair
slowing
Zulu
down
Alpha
to that.
112 tree contact Palma approach on 1 tree 4.825. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned.
That's enough for those speed brakes.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact Barcelona Center on 119er decimal for 5. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Barcelona Center altimeter 29er decimal 9er to
Okay,
continue
I
as
think
planned.
we can put a
Ryanair
one
Zulu
set of
Alpha
flaps.
112 tree contact Palma approach on 1 tree 4.825.
A little bit early on the flaps, but alright, I think.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact Barcelona Center on 119er decimal for 5. Good day.
So what do you think? Was I too early on those flaps or what?
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Barcelona Center
Now,
altimeter
we need to
29er
get
decimal
down
9er
to 3,000.
continue as planned. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact Palma approach on 1 tree 4.825. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact Barcelona Center on 119er decimal for 5. Good day. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Barcelona Center altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned. Ryanair Zulu Alpha
Thank-
112 tree contact Palma approach on 1 tree
Alright,
4.825.
I'm not sure VNAP is doing their job here, so I'm just gonna hit the
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29er decimal 9er to continue as planned.
So we need to be at 4,000 here. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. All right.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 360.
Still want us to do 360. Could you believe that? Could you believe that? Unbelievable. So I think we're gonna make that 4,000 there. I just want to make sure I stay within the speed. So just, I'm gonna go back to VNAP. I think we can do another set of flaps here.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 360.
360. Alright, so we think we're gonna hit that 3,000 before we get to the ILS. So I think we're gonna be fine. Our speed is good.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 360.
Alright, so let's see where we are here. I think we're doing fine.
112 tree, please expedite your climb flight level 360.
360.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, contact Barcelona Center on 119er decimal for 5. Good day.
Yeah, we're gonna hit, see, that's a good thing. We're gonna hit the 3,000 over here.
Barcelona Center altimeter 29er
A little bit.
to continue as planned.
VNAP.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112
You can do it, that's
you are
fine.
20 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect VOR DME runway 24 approach via Gislu transition. Clear to Gislu.
I want to do the ILS. I don't want to do the R. Okay. So this is the type of thing you have to put up with when you have bad ATC. So, but I think we're fine. Engines are spooling just to make sure that keep on that speed.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112
Turning.
tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60.
At this point, I think it's just hilarious. All right, let's do our. Make sure we are on our approach checklist, and that's the altimeters. To 9.9. Checking our next page here. I think we're doing fine here.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree. Please expedite your climb. Flight level tree 60. Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
Now they want us to do 3,000 feet. Had we been at 36,000 feet,
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree contact. Palma approach on 1 tree 4.825. Good
unbelievable.
day.
Unbelievable bad ATC.
Zulu Alpha 112 tree Palma approach altimeter 29er.9er 2 continue to bat by as planned.
Okay, so let me show you our approach here, and we're gonna hit that at 3,000, so we should be fine. At 2,000, I'm sorry, we're gonna hit the 2,000. Make sure that VNAP captures that. If not, we can help it out. Okay. So we still at this point am at 3,000, and then we gotta hit 2,000 shortly after that. Let's see how VNAP does it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the approach. Set this to 2,000.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, you are 14 miles northeast of Ibiza. Contact Ibiza Tower on 118.5 when inbound on the approach.
Alright, so it's capture there. The VNAP is responding. Should be at 2000 when we hit the glide slope. And let's do our checklist here. Before landing checklist. Engine switches, start to continue. Looks good. Let's do our gear. Speed brakes armed. They are. Landing gear down and flaps have a green light. And they do. Let's put another set of flaps. And let's try to reduce our speed here.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree wind calm clear to land runway 24.
Let's do another set of flaps. Set of flaps. Alright, guys, here's where you can have a chance to tell me what I'm doing wrong. And again, I don't have a co-pilot. So let's disconnect. That's just the autopilot that I needed to hit it again. It's kind of annoying.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, shit. Reverse thrusters. Good. Good. That's one thing I don't like. You have to hit it twice to shut it up. And I could have done it over here. I think that.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree, turn next taxiway.
Okay. Plenty of things that you can comment on. Did I arm the speed brakes? Huh. Oh well. Again, lack of good co-pilot here. It's an issue.
Ryanair Zulu Alpha 112 tree taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta Charlie Bravo.
Delta Charlie Bravo. This Charlie Bravo will come here. So yeah, I had to remember to hit that autopilot disconnect twice so I don't get that alarm. And I thought that there was on the 700, it could have been on this, but there was a red button here. Oh, it's right here, disengage. It used to be red. I missed that. All right, so we arrived safely at Ibiza, and thank you for flying CVAir. And please, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscriber button, and then make your comments in regards to what I did wrong in this flight. I think that there are plenty of things that you can pick from. So, thank you for flying Sticky Air, where we read the manuals so you don't have to. All right. Have a great time and stay tuned for my video on FS Hut. We're gonna kind of review where we are with FS Hut at this point, and have a great New Year's.